All right, guys, we are in suburban Chicago, Illinois. This is our annual Thanksgiving trip here. And unfortunately, Greggy is not here. He had to work today. He couldn't get off. It's a bummer, though. But Mark is here.
Yeah.
My trusty cameraman. So in this video here, we're going to go to Galloping Ghost Arcade in Brookfield, Illinois. And this is probably my most requested video right now. I'd say in the last couple years, everyone has left comments on my Galloping Ghost video, because we did a video here like a few years ago. But everyone says to me, John, the place is so much better now, you need to go back and do a new video. So we're gonna go there, we're gonna meet with the owner, Doc Mack, okay? He's gonna give us an all-access tour of the place. And I'm actually very excited because they say now this is the world's largest arcade, like in the Guinness Book of World Records. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
And I know that's kind of like debatable because about the cabs and the boards and, you know, and fun spots. So we'll see what Doc has to say about that. So anyway, enough of that. Let's just keep driving, go to Brookfield, Illinois to Galloping Ghost Arcade.
All right, what's going on here?
I don't know, I'm kind of hungry, man.
Did you get these from a gas station?
Yeah, I did. These are gas station eggs here. These are 2 hard-cooked, fresh eggs, perfect peeled, they call it. And by the way, we're coming up here on Galloping Ghost on the right. Oh God, I got salt everywhere. There's a Galloping Ghost. Oh, these are bad.
Your destination is on the right.
Where's it at?
Right there.
Oh, there you go.
These are not very good gas station eggs. They have like they're kind of smelly. The brand I usually buy is Eggland's Best. I've never had the Solder brand. They're okay. They don't feel very fresh. All right, let's go check out Galloping Ghost. Hey, Doc. What's up, man?
How's it going?
Good, I'm John.
John.
So this is it?
Yep. Galloping Ghost Arcade.
Yeah, it's pretty sick, dude. How many games are here?
621 right now.
621.
But it's a Monday, so we'll be up to 622 at 5 p.m.
Wow. Because I was here like 4 years ago.
Yep.
And I swear to God, this is the most requested video right now. That people want me to come back and see what's changed here. Would you say it's really different than the last time I was here?
There's definitely, we've been following our goal, which was to get games out here playable.
Yeah.
And then we want to have all the rare stuff. We just constantly are adding new games.
Right.
So that's been currently like the big thing.
Yeah.
It's, just adding stuff, talking with industry people, finding out cool games that people might have overlooked over the years, and getting them here on the floor for everybody to enjoy.
Now, do you have the Guinness World Record for the largest arcade?
We don't have the Guinness record.
Or a record? Is that debatable? Like, what's the world's largest arcade?
Oh, absolutely.
It
like
is.
The number counted by Guinness was Fun Spot's number, which included all of their redemption games.
Okay.
Shortly after they did.
How many did they have the record for?
They had 611.
11.
Yep. So we have, it depends on what you're counting. If you're counting coin-operated machines, it's one thing.
Yeah.
I believe when they did that record, they had right around 400.
Okay.
Since then, they've scaled back quite a bit on their video game side.
Right.
And it's one of those, for us, it's not about who the largest arcade
Well, I
is.
see it thrown around, like, you know, world's largest arcade. For you guys, Fun Spot says it. Just curious.
For sure.
Either way, there's a ton of games here.
For sure. That's our big thing is we love doing good events. We have...
I mean, you have quite the variety just looking around here that you don't see at Fun Spot, you know, like...
for sure.
Like this kind of big stuff, Time Traveler. I mean, look at it around, guys. It's crazy.
It's the first thing for the machine. It's the one selfish side to the arcade. I have to want to play the games here.
Right.
And fortunately, I'm pretty diverse. I love a ton of the classics. I love finding new classics that I've never heard of.
Right.
To surprise the regulars here, which is just so important. Like our guys have built up such a reputation for setting world records and high scores. To put a game on the floor that they've never heard of is awesome.
Yeah.
Same thing with the industry people. We got guys like Jeff Lee, the creator of Cube.
Cube right there.
Brian Cullen, creator of Rampage, and we've worked with them on a lot of games that were canceled, and we've worked with them to put those games back out on the floor.
Very cool. And we'll see that as we walk around. So why don't we take a tour? Do you mind?
Absolutely.
All right, Juno first. Classic.
This was last Monday's game. We just had this shipped in.
Now, last Monday's game, you do a game release every Monday, or try to?
Every Monday. We've done it for over the last 2 years. We've put a game out every Monday at 5 p.m. as our Monday mystery game.
A new game is added every Monday?
Every Monday, without fail. Sometimes...
How do you...
If we...
A game that you don't have.
A game that is currently not out on the floor, a new one gets put out. Last week it was Juno first. We've got, I'm trying to pick between 2 games right now for today's Monday mystery game. So I don't even know what it's going to be.
And you stream that live on Twitch, right?
Yes, on Twitch and Facebook.
Okay, cool. So Juno first, I love this. Great classic game. Now, the Sega Coliseum and the hologram, I mean, these are pretty special.
Absolutely. Hologram game, I remember Sega did a show out in North Riverside Mall right when this was coming out.
It's Laserdisc, right?
It is. This Coliseum, as soon as the Laserdiscs started to fail, they started switching them all over to be the JAMA PCB-based game Coliseum.
Okay.
So we have both of them side by side.
Oh, so this is not a Laserdisc?
No, that was done as the Laserdisc started to see issues with them. They're like, this isn't going to work, so they quickly made this game.
Oh, I had no idea. So this game's Time Traveler. You can see there's like a little, I don't know, does the camera pick that up? It's funny, they put like these little wooden blocks there, so it looks like there's a real object.
Yeah, it kind of gave it a little bit of depth, and it's interesting. We've lent this machine out to there's a hologram museum in Chicago that just went there for a weekend, and just really cool. And again, you don't see them very often.
Very cool. And then back here we have Darius and Legendary Wings. So like a cabinet like this, I mean, this is like a generic cabinet, right, with a jammer board? Yeah. I mean, but there's no dedicated for that.
Right. That was like one of the big things. There were so many 90s games that didn't have original dedicated
They were just
cabinets.
kits.
They were just kits.
Yeah.
So it's
like, what do you do?
This, I think, was originally a Coors bowling game.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. And that's like a centipede or something.
Yeah, a lot of them like that. When we got it, it was Tiger Heli. And
right.
It's just one of those.
But this is what the 90s were about.
Absolutely.
All these kits, these converted games at 7-Eleven, whatever, you know.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is what I was playing in the 90s.
It's for myself. I love getting games in original dedicated cabinets, but it's one of those. But if you
want this era of stuff, actually, this is late 80s, right? So but if you want this era of stuff, this is what it was.
It's going to be in a different cabinet. Like what cabinet it is. Like sometimes they had. This is the cabinet you should use.
Yeah.
Most of the time they didn't.
Right.
Especially with the amount of games that we import from Japan, there's not even any relevant cabinet to it. It's just kind of put this in anything.
Crazy. All right, let's keep going here. So we have Brave Firefighters by Sega.
That we did we put this out on Monday as a Monday mystery game on September 11th, and we did a huge event around it. Where we had the fire department out, and we donated all of the proceeds, or all of the money from the arcade that day to the Brookfield Fire Department and the New York Fire Department.
This is pretty heavy, dude.
Oh, it is. It was definitely a really cool game. Hardware on it, we actually had to 3D print.
Oh, you did?
This component.
No kidding.
Just it's the one nice thing about having our production company. When we need parts, we send it down to our 3D artist Milo. He models them up, and hands them over to our printer guy Brandon Diaz, and then we have it made up.
Awesome. And then Darius Burst EX. This is new, right? This is a newer game.
Yeah, this came out in 2011.
Yeah.
We had it shipped in direct from Japan. Just one of the most played games here. The cabinet itself is such a draw.
It's so cool.
Just go check it out.
It's funny, like the control pad is almost like those Vulux cabinets, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
All Sanwa hardware.
Yeah. And it's got two LCDs, just like the CRT one has two CRTs.
Yeah, these are two 27-inch flat screens. One's laying down, one's upright, and then
there's
half
a mirror
is
that kind
reflected.
of puts them together.
Yep.
All right, so tell me about Primal Rage 2.
Primal Rage 2. This was there's currently 3 known working boards in the world. We've kind of based, there's a guy in California that has the original cabinet that we based the cabinet artwork off of. Chris Tang, who is one of the developers on the game, we had him out just again recently. He had worked on the game.
Was this developed in Chicago or California?
It was, I believe, developed in California.
Okay. And so you found the board?
Yeah, actually, due to our Mortal Kombat scene that we had here, one of the players, Tom Brady, told us that he had the board. And honestly, I thought didn't know what he was talking about, because who's sitting on a Primal Rage 2 board? And he loved this community so much. He was like, you know, if I ever sell it, you guys get to have it. I'll sell it to you super cheap. And he's like, I just want it to be out there for people to enjoy. And when he finally, like 2 months later, he's like, I'm ready to sell it. You guys can have this.
So what happened with this game? I mean, it looks finished. I mean, is it not finished, or?
It's pretty close to being done. It's not 100% being done. There was a lot of character balancing that they still needed to do.
Okay.
The average player would say it's finished. Game testing and game balancing wise, Chris Tang says that he was only about 70% done with it.
I see.
Definitely a lot of fun. You can play all the way through it. It has a boss character. It has endings and everything, finishing moves. And it's definitely a lot of fun. Everybody kind of said that it was not a great game. And it ended up turning out a fantastic game. Like
And you're a big fighting guy, right? I mean,
love fighting.
What's your favorite game? Is it Mortal Kombat?
MK, fighting game wise, yeah, I would have to say MK is definitely my
Which
favorite.
one? MK2?
Probably MK2.
Yeah.
MK1 and 2 are definitely my favorites. Like we've done so many MK events. We're so close with the Mortal Kombat actors.
Right.
We're actually opening up a gym and martial arts school with the Mortal Kombat actors starting in December.
Oh, that's cool.
It's
so is this your fighting area here? You got all the Killer Instincts, the Mortal Kombats.
This is more the midway section. We've got all the MK actors that come hang out here every year at Combat Con.
That's cool.
We've got all their artwork up there. We've got MK 1 through 4 set up. On the opposing side, we've got all 6 grid cabinets.
Oh wow! And those are all linked together.
Yep.
What's Left 4 Dead?
Left 4 Dead was based on the PC game.
Right.
This came out only in Japan.
That's mouse?
It's mouse and almost like a Wiimote system, where...
No kidding.
It's
So that's based on the Valve game?
Yep. Released from Taito and Valve for the arcade.
Is it just like the PC game?
Yeah, it is a lot like Left 4 Dead 2.
Okay.
So, very similar levels. All the characters are in there, all the enemies, and really cool. Definitely gets a lot of play. It's all in Japanese, so a lot of people, it's got some startup time to it, but once people get into it, they really get into it.
And this Sonic game, you don't see much at all either.
No, this is another one that we've had it for a few years, and definitely, this is probably one of the most high energy games that I see people playing together.
And it's a trackball game.
3-player trackball.
It's like Marble Madness kind of, right? Like the gameplay?
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little more platformy where you're controlling your jumps and everything.
All right. And then tell me about this game, Spectre Files Deathstalker.
Spectre Files was this was a game that we recently completed with Brian Colin of Game Refuge. Brian Colin, who made Rampage and worked on all these great classic games. He was coming here and was telling us about a Laserdisc game that they started in 1984 and they canceled. And after talking to him, we definitely wanted to work together. We're still in the test mode. We haven't run it through. So it basically was. We found out that he had the video, and then we're like, let's finish it.
Yeah.
And
so he had like the video files just sitting there, right?
Yeah, well, he had them on 16mm film still. Oh. And I'm like, oh, this has to be preserved. And once he was like kind of open to that, it's like, well, now it's preserved. Why don't we finish the game?
Right.
So he took it through, and we worked with him, and we did all the full cabinet release for it. This cabinet was actually an NFL cabinet.
Okay, the Laserdisc game, right?
It was a CED disc.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was the game that canceled this game because the CED disc went out and it had so many problems. They ended up saying we're not doing any more Laserdisc games.
Yeah.
So that's why we picked this cabinet as...
Because it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
This is what they would have used.
Right, right.
Brian did.
You
all
actually
new-
see a lot of these cabinets because that football game was a dud.
It was. Surprisingly,
And
this has been amazingly popular with everybody here.
Really?
A
So
lot
what's
of
the
people-
gameplay like? What do you do?
It's basically
is it choose your own adventure
pretty
kind of
much.
thing?
Like you're given 3 questions. You watch a video scene.
Search the room. So it's kind of like a text
Yeah.
adventure.
Yeah.
Choose your own adventure with video.
It's got a lot of Brian Colan's humor in it.
Okay.
Like if you played Arch Rivals or Pigskin. Or,
Right.
You see a lot of the same. It's very jokey.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like a bad B horror movie.
Right.
And it's awesome. Definitely
Very
a
cool.
lot of fun.
All right, so let's go over here. So here's your kind of like Capcom games, you know, Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, Shinobi. I used to play that at 7-Eleven
love
in
it.
Hoffman Estates when I grew up.
Yeah, we're kind of grouping these as Sega Capcom.
Yeah.
A lot of Sega stuff in this row.
Altered Beast, Forgotten Worlds,
Some of the later Golden Axes, Alien Syndrome.
Shadow Dancer. I don't think I've seen that one before.
Yeah, that was the follow-up to Shinobi.
Really?
Where Joe Musashi got Yamato, the dog, to fight alongside of him. This was another one we recently did a cabinet upgrade. There's a lot of debate whether this even had a dedicated cabinet.
Which cabinet? What is that cabinet that's in? Is that a generic Sega cabinet?
It was used for a few things, but even on the cover of the manual, it shows there's an actual manual for Shadow Dancer that shows it in that cabinet.
I like that cabinet.
It's a great cabinet. It's big.
So is that just like a Sega like Dynamo style cabinet or
Pretty
something?
much. They
Just a
used
generic?
it. They used it for a few things. Supposedly, it's kind of got like the front is beveled in like
Yeah.
a Midway cabinet,
Right.
like the earlier Midways, but there's not much information.
I like
as to
the-
what else was supposed to be in there.
Like I just like this.
Yeah,
it's a cool cabinet.
It is. It's really great. This was another one we went out of state to get it, and definitely a really cool game.
Very cool. And then Golden Axe the Duel. Tell me about that.
That was the follow-up to the Golden Axe.
Yeah.
It's the third in the series. It was just a one-on-one fighting game. Not really heard too much about.
Right. I've never seen that before.
It's on the Thomas Wave, or no, it's on the STV's hardware.
Okay.
So again, another one you just don't see very often. When we put it out, a lot of our players that aren't even into the fighting game scene liked it just because they know the characters. And, it's not as deep as a lot of the other fighting games, but definitely a lot of fun and easy to get into.
Very cool. And then, of course, and then Alien Storm and Michael Jackson Moonwalker. That you can switch boards. You get a switcher in there.
It's actually. We've custom made all of our switches, so both games are always constantly running. Each one we make in house. It leaves the power
to both boards.
But just changes the video, the start buttons. So
very cool.
Starting one game doesn't start the other game.
So you see that, Mark? There's like a switch here, and you can switch from one board to the other. It's pretty slick.
We've been phasing those out just because we want everything in its own single cabinet. But as far as space, we're pretty much at capacity right now, so it's a constant struggle of shifting things around and rearranging.
So Alien Storm, is that a sequel to Alien Syndrome?
No, it was its own 3-player standalone game. It came out along at the same time.
I don't think I've seen that one either before.
It's another very rare one.
Yeah.
We're going to be splitting this. I have a dedicated Moonwalker cabinet.
Oh, nice.
This cabinet is actually a big blue for
Capcom,
Alien vs. Predator, which we'll be restoring this one completely.
Oh, cool.
So,
God, you've got like New Zealand Story, another game. I mean, I definitely know this game, but I've never actually seen anyone operating it. And this is in a Sega cabinet, Gremlin, right?
Yeah. This is another very rare one. Our friends over at Star Worlds had one, and at MGC our guys saw it and they really wanted it. So we tracked down a board for it, and then about half a year ago, somebody called us up and they're like, "Hey, we've got 2 games that we want to just donate to the arcade."
Okay.
So this is exactly how they donated it.
Right.
It was so odd, the games that they had. Like, who has New Zealand Story just sitting in their basement?
Exactly.
And the same thing. They just wanted it to be out where people can play it and enjoy it.
It's an interesting cabinet because it looks like a Carnival Frogger type cabinet.
Yeah.
But this is totally different up in here.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out specifically what it was, and there's no discerning information as to what it was before it was a New Zealand Story.
Yeah, it's like the materials are totally, unless someone laminated it, I don't know. All right, let's go and just God, there's a lot of games I've just never seen, like Scramble Spirits.
Scramble Spirits. These are all on the System 24 hardware, so this is all diskette based. So Crackdown, Bonanza Brothers, Scramble Spirit, Gain Ground, and Hot Rod.
Those are all discs.
All running on original diskettes, which are the hardware has always been kind of problematic.
Yeah.
But it's awesome that it's fun just keeping it all up and running.
So, did you make this marquee?
That is a reproduction of the original.
Okay.
But that is how the original was supposed to be. It was supposed to be original full plexi.
Now, is this related to Scramble? Like Stern Scramble?
No.
It's not. Okay.
It was its own standalone game. It was supposed to come out on the Genesis. It had a Japanese release on the Mega Drive, but never made it over to the Genesis.
Pitfall. Oh my God. It's in a Tempest cabinet.
Yeah. Tempest cabinet.
It kind of works.
It does. It's the Tempest cabinets, for some reason, in our first batch of games, we ended up with so many games that were converted in Tempest cabinets.
Right.
And one of the big things for us, we want to see people restore games.
Yeah.
So we offer, basically, if you need a Tempest cabinet, trade us any 19-inch cabinet, and we'll give you the Tempest one.
But this kind of somehow works.
It does.
It's weird. It's got like yellow laminate on the sides. I love that artwork. My God.
I believe it might have actually been made for a Tempest conversion.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I've seen 2 in Tempest cabinets. So either that was just the measurements
a
all
freak,
lined
right?
up.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wrestle War, another Tempest. Valiant Sarge.
Original dedicated.
I've never seen that either.
That's another Brian Colin game.
Yeah.
So that's always been, again, having so many industry people hang out here.
Right.
It means so much to us to get all the history of the games.
Yeah.
And this was kind of the precursor to General Chaos, which was another game that he put out on the Genesis.
Okay.
And it's just a really cool game. This was another one we brought in from out of state. You never see it. And over the years, the original marquee was very faded. We got a new marquee that had better color.
No kidding. So that's an original marquee you found.
Original marquee.
And then this game here.
Gain
Never
Ground.
seen this.
Excellent game. Loved it on the Genesis.
And this is a dedicated one?
Original dedicated, all the artwork, original sticks, everything. It's just such a great game that you never see. I had never known there was an arcade version. And it just popped up on Craigslist one day. And it had to be here. It was basically you get to...
It kind of reminds me of Quartet, like the feel of it.
Very much. It's got visually a little bit, like the gameplay is very different than Quartet, but definitely a lot of fun.
Is it like an Ikari Warriors type game?
Yeah, you get to select your characters, and each one has different attributes as to how they can shoot.
Okay.
Some can shoot above stuff, and some shoot longer range. Some have different speeds.
Right.
So it's very much about learning the characters, and you can see from the bezel there's a lot of different characters to the game.
And it's got a 25-inch monitor too. So
vertical, which is just incredible. Right. They had tried essentially
and this was another one I've never seen before.
Hot Rod 3-player. They did this in a 2-player version, a 3-player version, and a 4-player. A great game.
Yeah, it's
visually,
like a sprint-style game.
Yeah, a lot of fun. You get to upgrade your card. And just a lot of fun.
And I've never seen this game either. Is this called Crackdown?
Yes. This was another one that was a great game on Genesis. And same thing, I never knew there was an arcade version. I'm a huge Sega fan, so like finding this stuff, this was original dedicated.
And this is how the marquee was, like 2 layers?
Two separate layers.
Oh, that's cool.
Just that,
the
and then
over the characters.
Yep.
It's like a Grand Theft Auto kind of play or something?
It's almost like a little bit of a gauntlet feel.
Okay.
You're making it through the maze. You've got a map up top.
Right.
You have to set bombs.
It looks like OG GTA.
Well, I could see that a little bit with the map and everything.
Yeah.
But definitely a lot of fun.
That's wild.
Some Shinobi sound effects in there too.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
All right, so X-Men, gotta have that.
We've got,
oh my God, electronic art.
This was a one-of-one unreleased prototype that Brian Colin was working on.
Okay.
He had it sitting in his offices. He had this and International Team Laser.
And he worked with EA to make this?
Yeah, this was supposed to come out. EA started having a little less faith in the arcade industry, and they canceled production before it was officially finished. So it occasionally resets. It's got, I believe, like some RAM flow issues, but it's it's a fun game.
And it's like RC car racing?
Yeah. It's there's these discs you roll over, and it's 4 players, so it's definitely a very cool game.
Very cool. Mario Kart Arcade GP. I want one of those.
It's, again, another one that gets a ton of play.
And it's got a camera on here. It takes superimposes your face.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
I love this game, by the way. T-Can, Bomb Jack.
Great game.
Yep.
This was in the first batch of games that we picked up.
But that's a game that was always in conversion cabinets, right?
Yeah. I've never seen one in an original dedicated.
Right. Metal Slug 6.
Metal Slug 6. This is one where we need to shift. We have a lot of rearranging to do on the arcade.
Yeah.
Because the arcade floor is constantly changing.
Right.
Here we got
Trog. Yeah, that's a cool game.
Awesome
Very
game.
cool
Original dedicated. We picked this up out in Mississippi.
Oh, really?
And then also, we were talking with George Petro, who is the programmer on it. He was working on this and telling us about there's a prototype version that he had coded up, and everybody thought the game was too hard.
Yeah.
So they basically told him to change the game, otherwise they're going to cancel it. So we have.
So you have that version in it?
So this is the prototype version where you play as the hand, and you're picking up a bone and replacing it. Galloping Ghost Trog prototype. So it's. I haven't seen that, but okay.
Figures.
Yeah. It's one of those. The prototype was so different, but it was so cool to have George Petro out here. Let's see if that happens again.
Oh no! Check your voltage.
I'll have to check that. Might be a low voltage, but it's one of those where it's so awesome to be able to offer something that nobody had ever seen.
Exactly.
So.
And they customized the ROM to have your name in there, or is that in the menu?
A feature in the menu.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. And then Bagman dedicated, awesome Stern game. Hamana.
Same thing. This was another one.
Now this I've never seen either.
4 players, Space Lords.
I mean, Doc, I've been to so many arcades. You have so many games I've never seen.
It's the coolest thing. Like,
you're doing a great job of getting rare stuff. I mean, I've been all over the world literally going to arcades.
This was one that was, they literally said they were going to destroy it that day.
Oh, no, get out here.
They were saying it was so big and just never made any money. This was another one we got out in Mississippi, and they were going to just literally burn it if we didn't buy it.
Is this like a first-person asteroids kind of?
It is. It's more head-to-head combat, basically.
Oh, okay.
So kind of like Star Trek.
Yeah.
But it's 2 players on each side. One is the co-pilot. It's an amazing game.
Oh, really? There's a co-pilot?
Yeah.
So you work together in the same ship trying to take down the other players?
Yep.
Oh, that's neat.
Kind of like Star Control, which was another Genesis and a PC game.
Yeah.
Really awesome. Just one you never saw. This was one that I never even heard of, and I saw it. I knew the board was very rare, and just seeing a full dedicated cabinet, it was like, oh, it has to come here.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so which way should we go? Go in here?
We could go in here and then
back
out.
So here's a new game, Sky Cursor.
Again, the guys over at Griffin Aerotech and their airframe hardware, we've done a couple of events with them. Great game. We love to support the indie scene.
And this is PC based, right?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
It still has a JAMA harness to it, but ultimately it is.
It's a PC game.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, is this one? No, this isn't one of the dedicated. They were sounding like dedicated cabinets, right?
That was what they basically their first iteration in prototype. This was what they were using for the dedicated.
Okay.
That was the original dedicated artwork for the prototype.
Gotcha. And here's a cave shooter. I saw
Smiles. Great game. Very hard. We had Zurst, who's a phenomenal player, stopped out, and I believe he won CC'd it his first time playing it.
Wow.
So we got a huge shmup base here. This is basically like our shmup area.
Right. So you got a lot of shmups and fighting games, right? Kind of more hardcore.
If you break down the numbers, we probably have more classics than anything.
Okay.
But
these are all like hardcore games. Like
these are definitely like niche, like the like Macross, Mazinger. We've
Darius.
got the later Darius games, XX. Again, Life Force. I'm a huge Gradius fan.
Yeah,
so
me
Life
too.
Force,
Grace is my favorite.
Great
shmup.
game. The original, full dedicated.
Oh wow. This is a dedicated?
Yep, original dedicated.
Oh, this is sick.
Has the Konami side art.
Which is like the Konami on the side? Yeah. Gradius 3.
The Gradius 3 and 4.
It's a Atari Cabaret,
Yeah.
Gunsmoke, I used to love that game. And then
Great
Sega.
Game. Great game.
Dragon Spirit, used to have that. Namco System 1.
Definitely great game. And its follow-up, Dragon Saber. Kind of our Dragon shmup area.
Bosconian. Guys, there's so many games here. I just walked down here. I'm like, what is this?
That was released by Sun, which was a Korean company in 2000.
Yeah,
it used sprites from StarCraft to make the game.
Really?
And
so it's got like the Blizzard stuff in here?
Yeah.
Because that looks
unlicensed,
like Blizzard, right?
unlicensed.
Oh, really? Oh, unlicensed?
Very limited run. A really cool game. Actually, it's one of our we call it one of our gateway shmups, just because it's easy for players to get into, and it's a great game for people to do 1cc's on. And
I see.
Really
so it's like a scrolling StarCraft shmup, basically.
Yeah.
Interesting. Helios. There are so many games here. Raiden Fighters, all the Raidens, 1942, 43, Twin Eagle. So ultimately, though, your goal is to get these into individual cabinets?
It is.
Where are they going to go, though? You have no room, right?
We have our next expansion coming up, which will be our largest expansion yet. We're opening up into the 4th building, which we should be able to have another around 300 games.
300 more.
300 more. So right now we want to alleviate some of the tight spots in the arcade. We want to split up a lot of the 2-in-1s, and then we've got about 180 machines on hand.
Oh, you do?
Like the stuff now that we're finding is stuff that I literally never thought I would find.
Yeah.
It's just outrageously rare stuff, and we try not to divulge too much of what we have.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is astonishing stuff.
You're at the point now where you've got everything else, right? So what you find now is...
It's the rare of the rare.
Right.
There's always going to be some common stuff we don't have, and a lot of that, there's so many other amazing arcades that are in our area. We got Underground Retrocade, we got Pixel Blast, we got Chicago Street Pinball, so there's some stuff that we purposefully won't get if they have it, just because we want to
not compete, right? Make every place a destination.
Definitely never a competition. It's all those arcades are so supportive of one another. It's a great community.
So X Multiply, again, I don't even know what that is.
Phenomenal game from IREM.
Really? It's like an R-Type sequel, kind of?
Similar to R-Type in a lot of ways. Just a great game. We've had a couple of our players play through on a very high level and 1cc it, and just an amazing game, visually and play-wise.
Right. Tiger Heli, Sky Shark, Silkworm, Time Soldiers, Vulgus. Again, I've never seen that. Is that a dedicated one? No, I mean that's a Sega Gremlin cab, right?
It's got the side art on it. The door is definitely different.
Yeah.
I never knew Vulgus to have a dedicated cabinet.
Right, but it kind of looks right.
It would probably be it.
Yeah.
If there is a thing.
Astro Fighters, Astro Blaster, Mega Force. Is this House of
Silent Hill.
Oh, Silent Hill.
And Castlevania.
Castlevania?
The Japanese release only.
Oh my God! Look at this.
Actually whip the screen.
Is this like a Wii game, kind of like the?
Kinda. You actually whip the screen and stuff.
Oh, you whip. Oh, this is your chain. Your. I never knew there was a Castlevania game like this.
Came out in 2011. A lot of it is how, you have to calibrate at the start.
Oh, okay.
So you've actually missed the calibration, so it's going to be on a... But
very neat.
Has all the music, and it's definitely a great game.
So you do have some pins hiding out here, some good ones. Twilight Zone Creature and Funhouse.
Definitely.
Look at that topper.
Yeah, that's awesome. We've scaled back on our pins just because there's so much maintenance. And they get so much play, it's hard for us to maintain pinball free play.
Yeah.
So we do our best, and we hope to expand it. But
well, those are 3 great pins.
Absolutely. The follow-up, the last of the arcade version of Gradius. You're flying the Vic Viper, Solar Assault. Really cool game. We picked this up out in Ohio. And,
no kidding.
Oh, such a cool game.
So this is like a 3D
Gradius, essentially. Life Force, and just has it's such a great feel to it if you're a fan of those games.
Yeah.
This is another one most people didn't even know it came out.
I never knew that existed. And obviously that's a dedicated cab, right? Looks awesome.
Chimera Beast, unreleased prototype. I'm not sure if this is, there might be one other board in existence. This was made a tour out in Japan and was one I was looking for forever. And we're just such a cool game.
Yeah.
It was a very difficult, one of our hardest games for us to actually get.
To get the board?
Yeah.
And you got the board in Japan, you said?
Yep.
So you're on like Yahoo Japan and all that, or?
This was a private collector.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of coolest thing again where they know that if they sell it to us, it'll end up here. Like we're not going to resell.
Right. You're not going to flip it.
And
so, yeah.
It was an amazing
people
release.
Can play it, right?
People can play it. They don't even know how rare this is. This is probably up there for one of the rarest games in the arcade.
No kidding. Now, what is this Rabbit Punch? And we should know too that Bally, Midway, and Taito, and all these companies were local here. I mean, they're all from Chicago, right? So, because you're in Chicago, are you finding this kind of stuff easier?
Not
rarer?
really.
No?
Like, this was another one. I had tracked a board down, and then somebody was selling a cabinet, and it's just a Williams cabinet.
Right.
It had the marquee and everything, so we picked it up. The original board I picked up was out from Japan, which has been...
So they licensed this from a Japanese company, didn't they?
Yeah.
It wasn't developed
No, they
here.
didn't develop it here. Like, with all the Bally, Williams, Midway people that we know, most of them don't even recognize this one. It's just kind of like...
So they were going to license it from a Japanese company and then sell it in the U.S.
Yep.
Interesting. Crime City, another Tempest.
Hammer Away, another unreleased prototype. This was on the, I believe this was on the system, I want to say 18 hardware.
Okay.
Again, picked it up out on in Japan, brought it here. Really cool game, pretty complete, not very long, but probably just needed a little bit more balancing, but it just never made it.
Right. Tange, again, what is this stuff?
From Saikyo, two great shmups. Both super rare. I'd never seen them anywhere else, but they're definitely amazingly.
Do you consider yourself more of a '90s gamer than an '80s?
I'm all over. Like I started, my first arcade game I played was Asteroids. Okay. And I love the classics, and I just play them all.
Well, the '90s are well represented here.
Oh, for sure.
Which you don't see in a lot of places.
It's only because they look well represented, only because we haven't made it to the classics section yet. So
I wasn't dissing. I'm just saying you got a lot of '90s. Yeah,
I love the '90s stuff for sure. There's still even a lot of stuff in the 2000s that even the newer stuff. Like we try to have it all. Like Castlevania.
Exactly.
Stuff. I love it.
But the thing is, you're probably ahead of the curve because this stuff is like what's happening now.
Well, and that's one of those things where most of the arcades, even now, the arcades that are opening up, they think that it's the staple to have only the classics.
Right.
And honestly, I've seen a lot of people gravitate more towards the 90s stuff.
Me too.
The 16-bit era. The first thing I hear from a lot of people is, oh, you have Altered Beast. Oh, you have Golden Axe.
Exactly.
And again, and
they're not saying, oh, you have Tempest.
They're not.
I mean, I operate too. I have 3 arcades, and we found that too. We pulled Tempest out. We pulled all those games out and replaced them with House of the Dead and games like that.
It really depends on...
And even Cruisin'. I mean, those get played way more.
There's the balance here. It's like there's the casual market and the hardcore market.
Right.
We've always been after the hardcore market.
Yeah.
Even though the casual is much larger.
Right.
The thing is, you have to kind of convince the casual market to understand what these games are. So like games like this kind of draw people in, and then you expose them to the deeper stuff.
Right.
And that's how they get hooked on it. And they really get into it.
So moving on, Bermuda Triangle, Time Pilot, and Time Pilot. I love Time Pilot 84. Now look at this marquee. That's cool.
That was
it's got water.
Back when we were first open, we had a little bit more time to do really cool stuff like this.
Oh, you did this?
Oh yeah. It's all custom. It was they made a ship out in Japan. It actually has a filter in it that makes it all bubble. we have to refill the tank and adjust the filter.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things back when we had more time. We loved doing cool stuff like this.
That's funny. Gyrus dedicated, so Metal Black, Race Storm, Gigawing,
Mars Matrix.
Oh, Mars Matrix.
Great game.
Dedicated R-Type.
We've actually got the full R-Type series. I just haven't had room to put them out yet.
Yeah.
So R-Type 2 and R-Type 3.
All right, so that's this room, right?
Yep.
So can we go down over here and check this out?
Go back here. We've got
Full motion Space Harrier.
Full motion sit-down Space Harrier.
So he's got a death race, by the way, which looks beautiful.
Original. This was donated to us from Tanyo Kleiss, who had just moved here. He was working, I believe, at Microsoft, and then he was going to Stern. And he's like, I love your place. I think I have something out in Seattle that I want you guys to have. He just gave it to us.
So you got it raised up like on wheels.
Yeah, it's how he gave it to us.
Oh, is it right?
He had wheels on it. So we're like,
interesting.
It's awesome. So
Wrestlemania,
our wrestling section. Big Blue.
Oh, cool.
Super Muscle Bomber, Big Blue,
Slam Masters. So my friend has the Slam Masters, the double one, whatever.
Yeah.
With the connecting marquee over the top.
Yeah.
And he's looking for those parts. You ever see that cabinet? You know what I'm talking about?
This one was actually, these two were, that was the other Slam Master side to it. I took the top off and made a new top to put that in there. This was another one from Mississippi. It didn't have the topper or the centerpiece, unfortunately, when I got it. So, but did have the control panel art.
So there's a track and field cab with the WWF games.
Yep.
Sega Strike Fighter.
Strike Fighter, another one that was...
that's cool with the 3 screens.
We had bought another game from the guy, and he had this in his storage, and he's like, I'm going to dump it. And he's like, do you want it? And I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So,
Omega Race Cockpit. You don't see that too often. Definitely cool. Some Neo Geos here. Lunar Lander. So you've got the black and whites.
Yep.
G.I. Joe and Bucky O'Hare.
We have the every single one of the Konami 4-player games. We have them. This is one of the last ones that we're separating, so there's actually 2 less left.
Okay.
But
Circus Charlie dedicated, Wacko, Lunar Lander, Samurai Showdown, Neo Geo 4, 6, and 6 slot one.
All the King of Fighters, Cosmic Cruiser and Wacko side by side. It's kind of a weird row. This is another one that'll change a lot after the next expansion. 2 more Brian Cullen games, Xenophobe, Blasted.
Now, I've never seen that game. Tell me about Blasted.
Blasted was a game that started as International Team Laser, which was a 4-player game that never got released. There was 1 cabinet made. It was basically, you're a cursor, you're moving around, and you have to defend and attack all at the same time.
Was Brian Collins?
Yeah, you can tell the artwork wise. It's straight out Brian Cullen. Like you can tell his art
it's
style.
Like Xenophobe, Rampage, all that.
Yeah.
Am I playing right now? Oh, I'm sniping.
Yeah, basically you have to go around and shoot the enemies in the head, like those orbs. You gotta shoot them in the.
Oh, I see. Wow, I have never seen that game.
That one, original, dedicated, full side art.
So was that wide released or just prototype? Did you say?
No, this one actually came out. It started, and we have up on the artwork here. There's one for International Team Laser. That was the original prototype cabinet.
I see.
And Brian had done a series of artwork pieces, one for Ant Raid, Patooey Louie, and RC Squared. RC Squared and Team Laser we actually have. So we got those direct from Brian himself.
I never seen this. Is this a laser game?
It was.
That
is another Laserdisc game. Super limited run, interstellar. Great game, super rare. We've got 2 of our guys that played it a ton. Just a great game.
Dwayne Richard? Did he get that here, the record?
No, that was before we opened.
Oh, I see. So are you running the original hardware or Dexter and stuff?
This one, we have switched over to Dexter on our Laserdisc stuff.
Yeah.
It's just...
I don't blame you.
At one point we had... as much as I
didn't know if Dexter supported this one.
It does. There was only a couple of games that Dexter didn't use, and it killed me when we did have to switch.
Yeah.
But it is such a great solution.
And most people won't know or can tell or anything.
For sure, for sure.
You can't really tell at all. I have it in my Firefox. You don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some Sega Initial D.
So another heavily requested game. Some people ask why we don't have any link drivers, and it's usually just because of
Space,
but also what happens when people play linked games, the experience is definitely so different. And they go to those games right away. They go to light gun games and driving games because it is a quick, casual experience.
Right.
And we want people to get that experience, but there's so much more. We don't want people to be spending hours on the drivers.
Yeah. Try something new.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of, so many one-of-a-kind games.
Like this right here.
Gladiator, great game.
Tekken, Pit Fighter. So what's this invasion game? And these guns are nuts.
Those
Is this
were
real?
That was the prototype gun. This was given to us again. This was Play Mechanics' first game. George Petro had worked on it, and it had full original dedicated side art, which you never see. You could always tell the dedicated ones because, or the prototype ones, because these guns didn't make it to the final version. They ended up just using the HAP guns.
Oh, okay.
So when we were this was donated to us, it was just super special. We did a whole, it was a Monday mystery game, but we had George Petro out here.
Oh, very cool.
Tell all the stories and the history behind the game when it was being made.
That's nuts. Looking Wild.
Another great one. Picked it up out in, I think this was another Mississippi run.
Hydro Thunder. All right, let's keep going. Silent Scope. I always love this game. Sunrunner Sit Down. Operation Wolf, the sequel. Thunderbolt. Terminator. Revolution 51. This one I always wanted.
Great game. Another one you never see.
Yeah, you don't.
It's a constant work.
Now, this is considered like the dedicated cab, because usually it's in the candy cab, right? With the, but in the U.S. they're putting these ones out. Yeah.
Yep.
So, Mark, you see that side art? Like, this is the one you want. When I was in the UK at Arcade Club, they had like the Naomi cabinet, whatever, with the monkey ball kit in it.
Yeah.
But this is like the U.S. dedicated one that you would have saw like at Dave & Buster's and stuff, right?
For sure.
I'm jealous of that. That to me is cool.
This was kind of around the same time as the Grid was coming out. This was Atari did this, Midway did the Grid.
Is this like a first-person shooter?
Yep.
Interesting.
Came out in '99, so it was before the Grid. Definitely takes a little while to get used to the controls, but a really
it's like
cool
the
game.
WASD kind of thing here.
Yeah.
And this is like your mouse
A little
aiming.
bit ahead of its time.
Right. Well, this is probably when PC gaming was really becoming like legit, right?
Absolutely.
With Quake and stuff.
It was, I think, one of the first. It's weird. There was a game called Operation Gunbuster.
Yeah.
That Taito put out in '94, I want to say, and you could kind of see like where they were just kind of getting into first-person shooters with things like that.
Gotta have Simpsons.
have to.
House of the Dead, Gunblade, Zombie Raid. I don't know if I think I've seen this somewhere. I don't remember. But
great, amazing side art. Love the cabinet on it. The
cabinet's sick. Shotguns, Carnival, Rally X, just kind of in the middle of all this madness.
Yeah, that was one that just kind of got displaced one day.
DJ Boy, that's funny.
It's a cool game.
Yeah.
Combat Tribes, Elevator Action 2.
Oh, Elevator Action 2 is awesome.
It is, great game.
Dragon's Lair 2, Dragon's Lair.
Again, we were able to upgrade the cabinet a little bit. And so.
Oh, that's funny. Look at the topper on there. I like that.
Yeah, it was, again, early on when we had more time to do
to kind of theme everything up. And by the way, there's cards on top of all your games with like a QR code. Yeah, so this is like the record here and then the world record on top?
Yeah, we have actually over 320, I believe, world records set here now. Earlier in the year, we actually bought Orcade.
That's right.
We're completely revamping that. The QR code stuff is actually linked to our Galloping Ghost app that you can get on iPhone or Android.
I see.
That will eventually basically show you the original board from the cabinet, the dip switch settings, give you a history of where we got the board, keep you up to date on the repairs on the cabinets. and it just gives a bunch of history on the games from like the developers that we know. If they worked on the game, that'll have artwork. So we really want to make it, if people want information on a collector level, it'll be all right up there.
Awesome. So this is interesting, like a Resident Evil gun game?
Yeah, it was more well-known in Japan. This is another one we picked up out in Mississippi. Had a gun that I've never seen on any other cabinet.
The gun's crazy.
It is. It handles all the directional movement all together.
Wow, that's weird. It's not... That's nuts.
It is. It is. It's one of those that the maintenance on it, it's held up.
Well, if that breaks, you're screwed.
I have an extra gun.
Oh, good.
We're constantly buying replacement parts.
Right. All right, so Black Tiger, Knights of the Round. I don't think I've ever seen that one either.
Knights of the Round, great game. It's we're going to be upgrading that to a 3-player cabinet.
Oh, that's a 3-player game?
Yep.
Dedicated 720, looks good. Commando, Contra, Super Contra, yeah. Jackal, I love that game on the NES. I used to play that.
It's so amazing.
I actually never knew there was an arcade version of this.
Yeah, it was more well known as Top Gunner in the arcades.
Oh, really?
So I believe the Japanese one was, there was one area was referred to as Jackal, but
yeah, I remember on the NES it was definitely Jackal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Akari, Heavy Barrel, Vindicators. Again, you know, like what's Night Slashers? I don't know.
Night Slashers is a great Data East beat 'em up game, kind of like Final Fight, but has like monsters and vampires and Frankensteins and.
Oh, really?
It's become the collector scene has really gotten into it. The prices on the board is just skyrocketed.
Off the charts. So. Thunder Jaws, Rolling Thunder 2, Ninja Gaiden, I remember Ninja Warrior.
Taito was...
And that's like the same cabinet that Darius is in that football game, kind of?
Similar.
Right.
Taito did Darius and Ninja Warriors.
And the football game too, right? Wasn't there in this cabinet?
Tecmo did a...
Yeah, that's it.
Tecmo.
Yes.
That was, again, a similar one, but they had their own cabinet.
Yeah.
Taito also did...
Oh, this is 3 monitors?
Yeah. Yep. They did Darius 2 like that as well. They did a 2-screen and a 3-screen version of Darius 2. And then Rastan Saga 3 also had a 2 and 3 screen version to it.
Some more Neo Geos. So would you say here that, like, do most people play Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or King of Fighters, or is it everything?
You can come in anytime. Each has their own one that they're after.
Really?
Like the dedicated King of Fighters players will fill that area. The Street Fighter players will fill the area. So
they're all represented.
Absolutely.
Gauntlet Dark Legacy.
Great game.
Yeah.
That's next to Gauntlet 1 and 2.
Gauntlet 1, 2. Stern Turtle, super rare. Cuber Cube, super rare.
Our Gottlieb section. We actually, again, Jeff Lee, who was the artist on Cubert, him and Warren Davis and David Thiel, the creators of Cubert, like, Jeff is here frequently. And we've heard so many great stories about the making of all the Gottlieb games. We've got a lot of the artwork above.
Oh, that's awesome.
We actually have a mystery we're working on. We have a horizontal version of Cubert Cubes.
Oh, really? Is that how it started? Horizontal? You don't know?
It started, like, Jeff and I forget the name of the programmer on it off the top of my head, but we've been in touch with him, and none of them remember doing a horizontal monitor version of Cubert Cubes, but it's different artwork.
But they have it.
We've got the board, and it's
crazy. Is it the identical game? It's just horizontal?
Yes, no, but the artwork, like the title screen is different, and the aspect ratio is different, so even the character of Cubert looks slightly different.
Really?
But it's nothing Jeff did. It's nothing that
so they don't know where
really
it came
explain.
from.
So
tell me about Gottlieb Arena, because I don't know this game either.
Arena started off, and there was a Red Bull TV documentary on the release of this that was filmed here. This was a game that started as Hexus and was canceled.
This is interesting. It's got a directional fire.
It's a great, really, I can't believe that
it's
this
almost
game...
like Tempest, where you're like going around the perimeter.
Yeah, you're spinning around, and then like you move with the spinner.
Yeah.
And then your joystick is the directional fire. So this never came out. This was given to us when we put out the game next to it called Argus.
A game I've never seen either.
It's another unreleased prototype. This one, we were at Wizard World talking with Jeff Lee, and he brought with him a programmer named Tom Milanowski.
It's like Superman?
It was actually supposed to be a Superman tie-in game that got canceled. They had... basically, the earnings weren't great on it. So this was the only game that Tom had worked on, and Tom was saying it was some of Jeff Lee's best artwork. So we went and got the game finished. Like, it was another one. It's all on original hardware. We built the board up off of a Qbert board and got it to run. It needed some jumpers and everything. Jeff Lee made all new artwork for it, new control panel art, new bezel, new front art. And then we had this huge event for it. We had got everybody out for the release of it. And David Bonecutter, who was the hardware guy at Gottlieb, brought us a board from it. He's like, donated it to us. And he's like, I don't even know what game it's chipped for. And it ended up being Arena, which was another unreleased prototype. This would eventually...
I love this art, by the way.
This is an original Codolith that Jeff Lee did from 1982, which was before they would send the marquee out to print.
It reminds me of, what's that book?
Where the Wild Things Are?
Yeah.
Great. The artwork, Jeff's artwork is so amazing.
I love how that looks and feels.
It's an amazing game, unfortunately, and this is the only one. This wasn't put on MAME or anything.
Sell this? I'll trade you. You don't have a computer space.
Not yet, not yet. That is true. One day, one day.
So Berserk, all the Stearns, Tutankhamun, Puyan, and you got some Rockola stuff here. Eyes and Nibbler, Crazy Climber Elevator, the title version, 2 tires dedicated. What's this?
This is another unfinished prototype.
Is this a fighting game?
Yeah, it is. It's another one that's this version of it. There's a character that doesn't even have hitboxes on him. So
really? So it's totally unfinished.
It's really unfinished.
And War God's Mace, Anteater. That's a pretty rare game.
Yeah.
In a Stern cab. All right. So over here we got a Afterbirth. Oh. This was not here last time I was here.
Last time you were here. So we knocked this
God,
down.
This video is gonna be like 5 hours long.
It's only 11:30. You're doing great.
All right, good. Oh, this is one you just did, right?
This was.
I saw that video.
This just came out. We picked this up on a just random warehouse raid. It was sitting in a tent, and it's.
And now this is a Data East, right?
Data East.
Data East Chicago, though, right? The pinball guys.
They were trying to save the company with this game.
This is like Gary Stern and Joe Kamikow and all that, right?
Joe Kamikow. We were in touch with Joe and are working on getting him out here to share his stories on the history of this one.
Yeah.
And the chances, I've tried to track down. I'd heard rumors there's 2 other cabinets. I can't even verify that anymore. There's things online that say that those 2 were destroyed in a flood. So
is this game good? I mean, is it finished?
It is finished. It's much better than what people have led on to believe of it.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people say it's one of the worst fighting games out there, and people have been having a lot of fun with it, and that's the important
And they did
thing.
like the actual digitized pictures, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, they had live actors film.
Yeah.
It's definitely, you can see it's rushed. It's but
it's trying to compete with Mortal Kombat, basically.
If it was released before or after when MK wasn't in the spotlight, it would have been fine. It would have been fine.
Right.
But it's kind of, you can definitely see that they were rushed on things. Their scope of what they were trying to do was just insane.
It's just very ambitious.
2,096 finishing moves. It's crazy.
Atari System 1 cabs, Peter Packrat, Indiana Jones. Oh, wow, dude. All right, Pete. Now this is rare as hell.
There's another one. Prototype Beavis and Butthead. Only 12 made. Probably not more than 6 still functioning now.
Oh, my God.
There's one in Colorado.
They used to bring it to
Hyperspace.
California Extreme, right? This game.
This one was sitting broken. The guy said he got it from a guy who got it from the MTV auction. And we had it up and running within 24 hours. I got the drive out of a 3DO, and that was the fail point.
So this has a hard drive. Okay.
It actually played off the disc.
Oh, it did.
So it's interesting hardware choices, but it's back
It looks great.
If you're a Beavis and Butthead fan, it's got everything.
Who made this game though?
It was
what
Atari
company is it? Oh, this is Atari.
One of the 6 games that was canceled
I see.
by Atari. So Midway bought them. So they Primal Rage, Freeze, Beavis and Butthead, 10th Degree, and 2 others.
So as a Nintendo fanboy, I don't like seeing a Sega game
Wow.
in a Nintendo cab.
I don't, as being a huge Sega
I hate
fanboy.
Sega.
Oh, man. We would not get along, man. I'm such a huge Sega fan.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. Ridiculous.
I'm the Nintendo guy.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know.
all right, so you got Wonder Boy and a Donkey
Wonder
Kong. We'll let it go.
Do you like Wonder Boy as a game?
No, because I was playing on a Super Nintendo at the time.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I was playing Mario. But yeah, Wonder Boy's fine.
Well, you can't compare Wonder Boy and Mario.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
I
you
can.
could, but-
All right, so Pigskin and Air Tribals. This is a very cool cabinet.
Oh, yeah. Again, Brian
I love that.
Cole and artwork, amazing. Right next to it is the 1-of-1 International Team Laser.
Wow.
This one came out of the Game Refuge, their production offices. They had an accident with it when they brought it over there. The monitor had fallen in and scraped everything off the board.
Oh, geez.
So,
is this the same as that other game we saw with the sniper thing, whatever?
Yes. This is what eventually would become Blasted. They put it out and they said that it just didn't test well
With this name and
foreplay.
stuff.
Yep. So they changed it up. And again, for the prototype to have that much just black screen on a game wasn't the most exciting. So it was an interesting game. People got into it. We had it in one of our tournaments, and people definitely liked it. But definitely didn't get much wide release appeal to it.
That's crazy. Karnov, Rygar, Escape from Planet of Robot Monsters, Fantasy Zone, another Sega game in an Atari cabinet. Asteroid.
Great game. One you never see. It popped up. We got that from Japan.
That game was on the Genesis, right?
On the Master System.
Oh, it was? That was Master System?
Yep. It, I believe was the, if you turn the system on without a game in, it went up into Fantasy Zone, as I recall.
Oh, really? I don't know. I remember that game, though.
Great game. Great game.
I never seen that.
Tasman, another super rare one. Guy, Troy Smith, knew I was looking for one. Who we buy a lot of cabinets from, and he hooked us up, and very happy to have that.
That is a cool game.
We had the cabinet. Somebody, Masi Zagopian, one of our regulars here, had wanted. He's a huge Stern fan, and he saw that our Time Soldiers was in a Tasmania cabinet, so he asked if he could do a restoration. So we gave him that cabinet, and he restored one. It didn't have all the side art.
Right.
But again, now that we have one that has all the side art, we're actually opening.
And this would be impossible to duplicate with the curve on the plexi? Oh, that is
It's possible. We're actually opening up a company called Galloping Ghost Reproductions.
Oh, really?
Which we're taking on a lot of custom projects like that. Like we just reproduced the blaster stick. And you literally could not tell the difference between it and an original. So stuff like that.
I need a Nichibutsu crazy climber CPO.
I can probably hook you up with that.
Really?
Maybe.
All right. Well, that's good. We'll talk. Laser Ghost.
This one we picked up out in Tennessee.
Again, it's like there's just so many games. I've never seen this.
That's what we want it to be here. We want people to want to come out. We want them to spend the whole day, find a bunch of stuff. There's actually like.
So you look in a mirror?
Yeah, this is you can't emulate this stuff. It's like you'll see a laser.
Oh, it kind of like superimposes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
It's hard to like you have no way to discern where it's firing on the screen, so you need these guns.
That's nuts. All right, let's keep Metamorphic Force.
Yeah, it's one of the two of the hardest to find Konami 4-player beat 'em ups is Metamorphic Force and Ninja Warriors.
Wow.
This one plays a little bit more like Sunset Riders. Probably in my opinion, the funnest of the Konami 4-player games, but nobody's ever seen it or.
I never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's like everybody knows Turtles and
Simpsons, yeah.
But this was such a good game. Such a good game.
Vigilante, the 2 turtles in 1 cab. Star Wars Cockpit, gotta have that.
Absolutely.
Space Bomber.
It's another Psycho game. This is such an awesome game. Very rare, almost like, kind of like Galaga, but in a shmup.
But like weirder.
Oh, the art style on it is absolutely amazing.
Look how weird this game is. What is happening here?
It has.
The talking garbage can.
It's just a lot of fun. It's they have like the broken English going on, and
really?
it's just meant to be a fun, cool game.
So Pod Racer, Hyperdrive, that.
Hyperdrive, great game, and then there's the Japanese release Star Wars.
Oh.
Only 200 made.
Wait a second.
Get in there.
What, like with like the Rogue Squadron kind of.
Yeah, that was put out in '94. Only released in Japan. There's rumored to be maybe 8 here in the U.S.
I never knew that existed, because the Star Wars game from that era you see is like the third
Trilogy.
person. Yeah, the trilogy one, right?
Yeah, trilogy, awesome, and we have that as well. But like this was the one I picked this up out in Colorado, and they did not want to sell it. It was a struggle to get it here. This was actually our 600th game, so we wanted something just people would recognize, but be
one of a kind.
They obviously Star Wars. You can't get much of a bigger name than that, but.
Right.
Put out an arcade game that people are like, wait, I've never seen that, and it's Star Wars.
That's nuts. And of course, original Vector 1 and Power Drive, Tech Romancer
from Capcom.
Is that like Voltron?
Yeah, it's a giant robot, one-on-one 3D fighting. This is, again, kind of a rough mix right now, just because we haven't been able to rearrange everything, like having Night Driver right there, Return of the Jedi, Spy Hunter 2. Not our perfect perfect lineup.
But you kind of like, once you commit to an area, it's kind of hard to just move stuff around.
It is. It's difficult. But with the next expansion, which this whole wall is coming down, and we'll be in the 4th building, like I said, we'll be able to rearrange everything and get a really nice setup going.
NBA Jam, NBA Tournament Edition, Rock and Rope. Great game, by the way.
It is.
Midway Open Ice. Dirty Pigskin Football? What is that? There's like
that was a project that Play Mechanics did. It's kind of like Blitz, but you've got you can play as zombies and gangsters. And
did you 3D print this?
No, that's an original stick for it.
Really?
Hap actually had those. I just picked up a spare set, so we're trying to decide if we're going to make it the 4-player version or just keep them in spares.
Yeah.
So.
Blitz 99, Kung Fu Master, Super High Impact, Double Dribble, Williams Hit the Ice. I don't know if I've seen that one either.
An original dedicated. Super rare to see an original dedicated to that.
That's a cool cabinet.
It is. It is. I had passed on the game a bunch, and then when I was given the opportunity to get the original dedicated, it
looks awesome.
It really is. We picked that up out in New Jersey.
Oh, really?
Jerry Colonna, who runs up the NJ GamerCon, like drove it out to us, and just so cool that we had it here.
So tell me about Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon, another one. The board is incredibly rare. It in itself, we've had people that just come in. This is all they want to play. They're just so into Sailor Moon.
Is it a fighting game?
It's a beat 'em up.
Gotcha. Like a Double Dragon type deal.
Yep.
Now the next game though. So this is the Sega released version of Missile Command.
Yes.
And that is sick.
We had the Cabaret Missile Command, and we moved that off-site just because we got this, and what a cool cabinet.
It's beyond cool.
It is. You never see it.
Now, this is the version that would have been like in Japan, or?
Yep. There was,
so Atari licensed to Sega,
and Sega
for release outside the U.S., basically, right?
There's another game that we got from Sega, which is essentially Space Invaders, called Space Attack. It's in the same style cabinet that we have over in the vaults. So that'll be coming up pretty soon.
I always love the Sega dedicated, or actually a lot of the, even the Nichibutsu had that cool T-molding, which you cannot replace.
No.
And then Liberator, I always like this game. It's kind of like a 3D or whatever, Missile Command.
Step up for Missile Command, I would say. Great game, super rare, another one you never see.
All right, so here's your Sega games. Congo Bongo, Zaxxon's Monster Bash is a pretty cool game.
Yes.
Yep. Track and Field, Pac-Mania, Tecmo Knight. That's a game I don't know.
That's another super rare one. That was it's a hack and slash, kind of like Golden Axe.
Okay.
Just one you don't really see. It has its fan base.
Right. All right, let's go around the corner over here. Oh, Desert Assault's another one.
Another great game.
Yeah. Crime Fighters Spawn, that's gotta be rare, right?
It's actually pretty common.
Oh,
you don't
is?
see it. It was put out on the
CPS
Naomi.
2? Oh.
Naomi.
Okay.
Naomi. Cool game. A lot of just run and shoot, basically.
And then the Mega Man.
Mega Man's those definitely great game. A lot of fun.
Those are straight up fighting games, right?
They're more like Mega Man boss battles.
Okay.
So,
I see. Just over and over. It's not a platformer, though.
No.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Z and Psychic Force, Magic Sword, Rip-Off. That's a great game.
Great game. Tim Skelly game.
Yep.
Yeah, we had worked on this. This was in our first batch of games, but it was actually the last game of the first games that we got of the original 114, and
Right.
it was a lot of board issues and took years to
Modder.
fix. So happy to have that.
This is
out
pretty rare, this Atari Fast Freddy. Is
there. Fast Freddy. And
that an Irish cabinet, or is that the...
that is the dedicated Fast Freddy
It
cabinet.
is. This is reminiscent like of the Irish...
Yeah, we have
Cash.
the Irish Dig Dug
Yeah.
one, and but that Fast Freddy, that's what they used here. So very cool.
Is it a good game? I love the way it looks.
It's super difficult.
Is it?
It turned a lot of people off just due to its difficulty. Like, it's fun, but it's hard. Like, they have the people who are into it that get get used to the little nuances can get good quick. But
That's cool.
A lot of people don't make it past.
There's Quartet. That's kind of... I love this marquee. Spy. That's pretty good.
Sit down.
Ratmobile, yeah.
Great game.
Mercs. All right, Metal Gear. God.
Another one.
Yeah.
We imported from Japan. Super rare. Has 3D with glasses.
Oh, really?
And head tracking.
Nuh-uh.
And then the actual gun. So sit down light gun game. Really cool. It's hard to keep up and running.
Oh, is it?
People are not gentle with the lenses, but.
Wow, I have never seen that. That is super cool. The gun is awesome. Look how badass. Oh, wow, it's like a Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Is that literally like the same?
Yeah, it's the analog stick. Where that's how you control. You move. That's your directional movement.
Very cool. I mean, Metal Gear's badass. Guilty Gear. All right, so should we go back over here?
Yeah, we can go straight through.
So Mr. Do, Extermination, Gottlieb Exterminator.
Another
That's rare.
game. Warren Davis and Jeff Lee worked on this one. Those were all miniatures. Cool thing is, in the houses, they're actually like Jeff Lee's house that he was living in at the time.
Oh, really?
And the hands are Warren Davis's hands and stuff.
That's funny. Yeah, we played this at Pinball Wizard in New Hampshire.
It's super rare. It's the hardware is difficult and great that we're able to have it here.
Yeah, it's
always
cool
one that concerns us because of the weird controls.
Yeah.
So
Judge Dredd, Punisher.
Judge Dredd, another unreleased prototype.
Oh,
game.
this is?
Yep, this one never came out. Actually, Alex Ross just. Our cabinet art that we have on it is, it's got Sal DeVita, who played Judge Dredd in the game. We custom made all this side art, but we ended up getting an original piece of side art from Alex Ross, the legendary DC comic book artist. He lent us a side panel that he happened to have when he donated us this Superman arcade. So we were hanging out with him, and he's just said it should be at your arcade. So.
Very cool. So you have the right artwork.
We have the right artwork now. We've scanned it and preserved it, and now we just need to.
So did this come out around the time they did the pinball machine too?
This was 97, I want to say.
Okay,
96
so
maybe.
Probably after.
Yeah.
It's Punisher. That's
original dedicated.
The Black Widow. So do you have how do the 6100s handle here? The monitors.
They hold up.
They do?
Hold up. It's frightening every day turning them all on, but they all hold up.
All right, so Bonks. I never seen the arcade version of that.
That was another outrageously rare one we picked up in Japan. Again, it was private. There was a private collector for that one. I had never seen another one. They're not even sure if it had a full release or if it was just a prototype.
Right.
And again, the TurboGrafx X mascot character. So we had done an event with Mario, Sonic, and just kind of covering all the mascots from the 16-bit era.
That's cool. Batman Forever. What's this one? Aquajack.
Kind of a little like Chase HQ or Night Striker. Night Striker, which we have on the other side. And just such a great game. You just never see it. Cruising.
What was the other name for this game? On the NES.
City Connection.
Yeah, City Connection.
That's
where I played that. Yeah,
I played it a ton on Nintendo. It's
right.
Really cool game. Another one I never knew there was an arcade version of.
Me neither. And that's like an neutral cabinet.
Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea. Battle Shark. All right, so let's go over here. So tell me about this guy.
This is Yuchuyu Daisuke-san Chocovator Contactee.
Bless you.
That is... I've not found the person that doesn't say that when I say that.
Are you serious?
It's 100%. It's hilarious. So this game, another one I picked up, it was $8 in Japan.
$8?
And I got it here, and it's really cool. It's a bunch of mini games, super unique. Like it's
like
a little
WarioWare or something.
Yeah, it's like timing-based games, and just really cool to the point where I found out that the guy had 10 other boards. So I bought them, and I just sent them to random arcades.
Yeah.
So like Underground Retrocade got one, and Level 257 got one. Adam Pratt over at Game Grid out in Utah got one. And everybody, still nobody's, it's not hit the level of where people are walking in knowing the name of it.
Right.
It's definitely very cool to be able to put out a game and then share it with other arcades.
Yeah, and they all have it.
That's
pretty cool. All right, let's go here. So the XD games, Pepper 2, Adventure, gotta have those. Star Castle. Here's your Atari Vectors, Gravatar, Space Duel, Xevious, Blastroids, Asteroids. Atari System 1, Rampart, Aliens. So should we go down this row here?
Down here.
So you got some black and white stuff here, Circus.
Mousetrap.
More XD stuff. All right, so here's all the Gottliebs here. So Three Stooges, super rare.
Great game.
Williams Splat is super rare too.
This was, we had put, I forget what we put up. We put something, we put Blaster up.
Right. And the Wood Blaster cab is rarer than the Duramold.
I got a call from Jeremy Fox, who owns Prince Arcades, and he's like, he's like, I got this woman here who's about to 60 and want a Blaster.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? And it's the wood one
and it's
too.
The wood one. And I'm like, no, don't let her do that. I'm like, I want that, like, give her a 60 and 1, and I want that cabinet.
Yeah.
And then it was here. So then we had Larry DeMar and Eugene Jarvis out here for that. And George Petro came out, and he's like, oh, you got a Blaster, but you don't have a Splat yet. So George Petro, just a phenomenal amount of information on, he's been there through everything.
Yeah.
And he is constantly putting me on, like, go find this game. And Splat was just such an awesome one. We eventually got the board, and then it became like, how do we get the artwork?
Right.
And George Petro gave us an NOS original control panel.
Wow.
And talking to him, we were like, okay, we're going to have to come up with a way to do the sticks, because the sticks are it is a 8-way, it's an 8-way gate optical, which they put on the very early Joust cabinets and Bubbles.
Oh,
and those were the only games that used them.
Now how do you get 4?
Oh, well, one is just a regular
Wicco,
just a Wicco stick.
Yeah.
And the other is the only one that we had to worry about. The other two.
Oh, I see.
So we ended up again going to our 3D printer. We ended up getting 2 Joust sticks, which had all the components on there, but didn't have the actuator board. So gave that to our 3D printer, and our 3D sculptor, he modeled it out.
Yeah.
We gave it to Brandon, who printed it, and then
here it is.
Converted it, and then now we have.
Because the Joust was a 2-way stick, right?
Yeah, but it actually, the board was the proper board. It had all the components on it. You just needed that actuator board. So we were able to make that, and then was talking to Petro about the The marquee, he had a marquee.
Now, was this like a joust cabinet or?
No, it was actually, I had found somebody had converted a Bubbles cabinet to a Shinobi.
So this was a Bubbles?
It kind of. When I got it, it was a Shinobi, and I was getting ready. I stenciled the sides to be splat.
Yeah.
So it has all the stenciled artwork.
Right.
And then I held the marquee up to it, and it was an inch short.
Oh.
So I had a Stargate cabinet that had the proper front.
Uh-huh.
So this is all Stargate, and this is Bubbles. So it's all from original cabinets, but this is what they did for the splat cabinet. It was the slightly wider cabinet for Stargate, and then the sides from the Bubbles.
Interesting.
So it's right,
because this is wider than Bubbles, right?
Yeah, by about an inch. Indiscernible unless you're looking for it.
Right. That's crazy. So Three Stooges is mega rare Gottlieb game.
Yeah, that was again. Let's see, Sam Russo worked on that. Jeff Lee, Tom Malinowski. Just a great game. Found it. Private Collector had it.
I hear it's not. I've actually never played it, but I hear it's bad. It's not good.
It's not. I would much rather be playing Food Fight.
Right.
But it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Happy to have it here.
Yep. Buck Rogers, Frogger, Super Mario and a Mario Brothers wide body, Popeye, Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong 3 Jr. and Donkey Kong, and then here's more Williams stuff.
Yeah,
you got them all.
I love them all.
Make Tracks, Vermatron, Moon Patrol, Defender, Stargate, Joust 2, which Joust 2 is probably the rarest of the normal ones, the common ones.
We got, and that one of the big reasons why, again, I had mentioned that we're redoing the blaster stick.
Yeah.
We're adding Inferno to the lineup, which is the rarest of the rares.
Right.
So
that's got like the cool like Python Angelou artwork and stuff, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's great artwork.
Yeah.
We also did Bubbles. And so many great games.
Outrun and hey, a Tempest and a Tempest.
Tempest and a Tempest.
Rumblefish. So what are
fighters? And
so these are Neo Geo. These are SNK fighters, or that is.
These two are. This was. They did Capcom versus SNK, which was handled by Capcom, and then SNK versus Capcom, which was done by SNK.
Gotcha.
So it had their art style. But yeah, this is pretty much the mix fighting row, and this is pretty much the mix
drivers.
driver.
Yeah. So you got them all, Turbo and Speed Racer.
Great game released from Namco. Plays through the whole opening song and everything. Great racing game.
Awesome. It's my favorite driving game.
Great game.
Paperboy, APB, Road Blasters, Championship Sprint. More fighting games. Now this one here.
It's another one.
First Funky Fighter.
I had seen this game, and it's such a weird game art-wise. It's like super violent, super bloody, which you would never get from what it is. It almost plays like a whack-a-mole game.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it, right?
You're just hitting the buttons and stuff.
That light up.
I had the board for it, and then I picked up a full dedicated cabinet out in Japan with the help of Rob Burke, who runs Pinball Expo, and he helped us out to get this here.
Sick.
In the original cabinet, which was, the artwork on it is just so awesome.
Vampire Savior, again, games I just don't know.
This was around the Street Fighter era. This one's pretty common.
Is it?
It's Darkstalkers, Vampire Savior, what am I thinking of? Vampire Hunter is the other one. So,
Red Baron, Atari Black and White, Vector Game, Battlezone, Salt, Tubin, Vendetta. So what's over here? Power Drift, World Rally, Badlands, G-Lock, Off-Road. So Freeze, that's a game I don't know.
Freeze is another unreleased prototype.
Really?
Yep, that was canceled at the same time as Primal Rage 2 and Beavis and Butthead.
So this is Atari too?
Yep, this is another one. We picked this up. Actually, the funny thing, we traded a pin for the board, and then somebody drove in, I forget who it was, had an original dedicated prototype cabinet with, I believe it was War was in it from Atari, and they're just like, they didn't know we had the board.
Right.
They're like, oh, it just has a Freeze sticker on the back. I don't know if you ever get that game, then you'd have a one of a kind.
So this is the right cabinet?
This is the right original dedicated cabinet.
And then you at the board just put the two together.
Married them back together.
That's nuts.
The chances of it are...
Right. So Ninja Baseball, Batman, Alien vs. Predator.
Again, a lot of rare stuff.
Yeah.
People, Angry Video Game Nerd did a famous review on Ninja Baseball, Batman.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know the game.
Yeah, it's super rare. Again, happy to have it here. We've had it for a long time, and it's one of those that people are excited when they hear that we have it.
Yeah.
And that's, again, one of those that it draws them in. They find out about it because we're one of the few places that has it.
So Arabian Fight, I don't know that one.
That's another Sega. It's on the System 32, I want to say. Just a really cool beat 'em up. They had a lot of scaling in it. Just super rare. We'll eventually switch that one over to a 4-player cabinet.
Oh, you will? Oh, so that supports 4 players.
Yep.
And then Atari's Arabian, unrelated, next to it.
The Gladiator.
And Gladiator. And then the Tekkens, Pit Fighter. And then these ones we looked at. So here's Narc. Eugene Jarvis.
This is, we had a developers day for Narc here, which was just a phenomenal event. We went all out on it. We had the giant Mr. Big painting done, which is actually Mark Lafredo. But a couple of days before the event, George Petro called me up and he asked if I had an extra Narc board. I was like, yeah, sure. He was like, bring it out to me. Brought it out to him, and he was like, didn't really say much about it. We didn't ask much about it. He ended up, the event happened, he came on out and he gave me this board back, and he's like, here, what's this?
Change your ROMs, or?
He had a level that was never completed, and it was a bonus stage where you actually flew the helicopter.
Oh, really?
And it's not on main. He said it went out on test and it was crashing and everything. He's like, I finished it up, burned you the only set of ROMs that exist, and
it's in here now?
Now it's in there. So
that is cool.
You can play a one-of-a-kind level.
I actually love this game.
This is actually my first arcade game I ever bought.
Is it really?
Yep.
I mean, I have vivid memories playing. The game's crazy. It's like all drugs and hypodermic needles and stuff.
Yeah.
This is all during the Reagan era. You know?
Say no to drugs.
That's Nancy Reagan right there. I love Zookeeper.
This one, the cabinet, when we got it, we were commissioned to make a Elevator Action 2 in a title cabinet.
Okay.
So I called up Jeremy Fox from Prince Arcades, who we buy a ton of cabinets from that guy, and he dropped off this title cabinet, and I scraped the. I was like, what was this originally?
And Zookeeper art.
It was an original Zookeeper.
Yeah,
you saw
like,
that orange. And it's got a lot of wear on it, but the fact
it's presentable.
It's presentable, original, dedicated.
Right. So I love Thief. It's 2-player Warlords. Usually you see the cocktail. I think the 2-player is cool, the cabinet.
Absolutely.
Puzzle Fighter and Tetris. Atomic Punk. Is that a rare one? I don't know. I've seen that before. Yeah.
The board is pretty common.
Yeah, I've seen that. And then Bubble Bobble, Clax, Arkanoid, Neo Geo, Jungle King, Frontline, your Titles kicks. And then Captain Commando.
Great game. This was another one.
That's cool. That's originally how it was, those buttons?
Had the split buttons. It was one of the, not too many people know that it was in a Big Blue. Right now we're upgrading a lot of our Big Blue cabinets. So we just recently did Punisher, Captain Commando. We've got 4 or 5 more in storage that we're going to be bringing over and getting everything
in the right cab.
In the right cab.
Yeah. Haunted. So that's Castlevania sequel.
Unlisted, but yeah, it's they never accredited it to be Castlevania. It actually came out the year after Castlevania as the basically arcade only Castlevania adventure.
Is that right?
But they
besides the verses, yeah,
right. They never specifically call it Castlevania, but
sure looks like it.
Sure looks like it.
And then versus Castlevania, which was on the Nintendo Versus hardware. We gotta have Burger Time.
Burger Time.
Blood Brothers.
It's another pretty rare one. Really fun game, similar to like Rambo and just rare. It's not something you see too often.
1947. What was it? No, 72. No, the Neo Geo game was it? 1975.
Yeah.
Kind of similar gameplay. Konami games here. Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Yeah, that was based on a cartoon from the 90s.
Oh yeah. Is that it right there?
Yeah, that's it.
I barely remember that. That seems familiar to me though. Pengo, Dedicated, Zybots, Punch Out, and Super Punch Out. That's great. And here's your Irish Dig Dug. Yep. You can see that's almost the same cabinet as that other one.
It is. It's the exact same. There's another.
That's beautiful. Food Fight, rarish Atari game. Now what's that?
Crater Raider, awesome game. The audio on it is amazing. Super rare. Just found it in Seattle. It was just on auction. I believe they probably just missed the strip. It's always run great. It's an amazing game. Definitely one you gotta check out.
Yeah. So Die Hard and Virtua Fighter, Sonic
Championship, one-on-one fighting.
It's 3D?
Yep. They were using like the Virtua Fighter engine. They have Sonic Battle Knuckles.
Wow, I never seen this. That's crazy. That looks really good.
It's fun. It's definitely a fun one.
Final Fight, Ultraman, and Godzilla. I mean, I don't know those games.
Super rare.
Yeah.
There's, I believe, I have not found any other Godzilla boards in the U.S. We have an extra Godzilla board, but I'm a huge Godzilla fan.
Yeah.
So it's just one you never see it. You never see it.
Splatterhouse is a rarish game too.
Very rare. It's a great game. Had a lot of interest over the high score run between Anthony Paparo and Caitlin Oliver back when back in I think 2015 was when everybody was going back and forth.
On that game. And then Tron, it's more Bally games. Spy Hunter, Tron, and this is Tron Upright. I used to have that. Great game. Actually, no, I don't like that game.
You don't like that?
No, I like Tron. I like Tron better. It's one-dimensional. It's the best cab ever, though.
It's cool. It's definitely cool. I lost out on environmental.
Did you?
Once.
Yeah.
Always.
This is actually rarer than the environmental.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
Not as desirable, though, probably. Rampage World Tour. Yes. Rampage.
This was donated to us from Brian Colin from his personal collection.
Oh, really?
We had it in a conversion, and it was a much-needed upgrade. So we are happy to get the original dedicated with full side art and everything.
Yeah. And then Total Carnage, Centipede, Millipede, Galaxian Galaga. So Zackaria, that's a rarish game.
That's another one from Brian Colin. When we were working on that,
wow, that looks cool.
We had actually talked to him. We had the original marquee, but Brian didn't like that the marquee didn't match the character in the game. So Brian redrew the marquee.
He did?
McMahon had done the original marquee art, but Brian had upgraded it and did new control panel art and new side art.
Just so it jived with that character.
Yeah, just to bring it all together a little bit more.
Bank Panic, cool Sega game. Very reminiscent of the Tapper Cab, which you have next to it.
Tapper, and Timber. Timber, love that game.
Yeah,
so
good. Man. And then these are this is like the six-pack cab with Flicky.
Flicky, Up and Down, Mr. Viking, and then 3 others were part of the Bally six-pack. But then Lazarian, Blueprint, and Bump and Jump all used the same one too. Just didn't have the Sega.
But I've always wanted this. I just think Flicky's fun.
Great game.
Yeah. And then Blueprint and Jumping.
My girlfriend has the world record on it. Danielle Robbins.
Does she really?
Loves playing this. So this is the one cabinet that we had at our house. So
she has the world record.
Yeah, she was going. She's competing. There's a guy named John Munkus out in Arkansas. I believe it's arcade. He plays at his Arcadia. I think they have one too. So it's.
But you can see, because like Journey, all those games have like the same profile, and I've had so many people send me photos. John, is this a Journey? I'm like, no, it's a Bump and Jump. Is this a Journey? No, it's a Blueprint. It's like the same look.
Like the cabinet size.
Well, the angles of the monitors, the horizontal, the vertical. But they all, actually Bump and Jump's taller, or is that just the leg levelers? I don't know. They're all very similar.
Yeah, they're all very similar. The Bump and Jump might actually be slightly taller.
Yeah.
Not 100%.
All right, so here's your Belly Midway Classics. Miss Pack, you have the Classic and the Turbo. Pack and Pack Plus, Super Pack and Junior Pack, Pac Land. I like this game. I love Baby Pack. I miss mine. And then the lesser-known Granny and the Gators. These, of course, are pinball, half video game, half pin hybrid. So Galaga 3 and Galaga 88. You have a switcher in here?
Yep.
Gotcha.
I had actually just picked up a dedicated Galaga 3 cabinet, so that'll be one that's splitting.
Yeah. And this is the right cabinet for 88. Yep. The Namco System 1. Great cabinets, too. The boards are right here.
Yeah, easy to work on, easy to check voltages on.
Just a JAMA cabinet.
Yeah.
Galaga and Galaxian. All right, so that's those. Let's go over here. Blueprint's kind of underrated. Gun Force, Solar Warrior.
Hellfire and Zero Wing. Another one, Williams game with the Zero Wing that they licensed from Toplin. And they did, basically the cabinet art was for a Williams cabinet.
Interesting. And then, so Street Fighter 4 Ultra, what's in there? Is that
That is a, no, that's the Taito Type X3 hardware.
Oh, it is?
So it is all original hardware on that. We initially, when we opened, we were running on a PlayStation, but since we've taken out all the console cabinets that we had, just in lieu of, it didn't get an arcade release,
that you're
just not here.
Yeah, because I do remember, like, over there you had like some PlayStation cabs or Xbox or something.
We did have Killer Instinct, the new one, and Mortal Kombat 9.
So you've gotten away from that, and now
we have.
Yeah.
It's one of those. It's almost to the point where it's a time issue to keep doing the new games.
Right.
NetherRealm had asked us to do an Injustice 1 cabinet.
Yeah.
We never got around to doing an Injustice 2 cabinet with them, but it's there's always just so much going on.
Right.
So
this is Street Fighter the movie?
Yeah. We definitely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's. We just had. We didn't get a score in on this one. We had a bunch of Chileans and Argentinians in for our Combat Con event, and they were just destroying all the local world record scores.
Oh, really?
Like there was one of the guys, George, was playing Street Fighter. Wasn't even looking at the screen, just head down, just knew everything about it. Just had all the patterns. There was nothing to him.
That's nuts. Skull and Crossbones, a rarish kind of Atari game. Battletoads.
Great game. Another
Turkey Shoot. Mark, you know about that. Mark has this game.
Picked that up from Jonathan out in Decatur. Great game.
It's got real feathers in there.
Yeah.
And a little air pump.
It's another one of the machines.
Durable here. That's kind of like, I always see the wood control panel, but never see the durable.
Really?
Yeah.
So yours is like molded plastic here?
Yes.
Interesting.
Never seen that. That's awesome.
So this game actually is disturbing.
Oh, this is my wife's favorite game.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Like the first time I played this at Fun Spot, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's.
You're like legit torturing people.
People were not sure if we would ever put this on the floor, and
really,
it just was a matter of finding one. We got that one out in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So,
like here, Mark, I mean, like you're legit torturing people. Hang on, is it not going? There we go. I know it's just like cartoon graphics, but like when I played this at Fun Spot, I was like, oh my god. It made me feel funny. And there's like you can shoot the... I mean, look at that. That's funny. So you've got all the Street Fighters.
Yep.
They're all represented.
Pretty much all of them. We're missing Street Fighter EX Plus 2 and maybe one or two of the other like lesser known ones, but like Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Yeah.
And we have 03 uppers. So.
Right. That's just the Japanese versus English one. And then Smash TV. So, actually, look at this stuff here. So, tell me about Galaxy Force.
Galaxy Force was another one we picked up with Prince Arcades. It came out, was $127,000 from what I can tell, and we picked it up for $500.
Wait, say that again?
$127,000 when it came out.
This game was $127,000.
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
That's what they were asking for. I think maybe there's only very few made. I think there was like 50 to 100 made, and they were meant to be in locations like
Disney and stuff. Yeah,
absolutely.
And then over there, the F-Zero is so cool, man.
Great game, great game.
Now that's a Sega Nintendo mashup, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what happens when they work together.
Yes.
Good things.
Very cool. That F-Zero is sick. Oh, yeah. Like, so how do you get... Did you bring this over from Japan, or...?
This one we found locally.
Oh, you did?
Again, Prince Arcades called me up, and he's like, I'm out in... He's out in Indiana.
Yeah.
And he's like, is there anything out here you want? And I did a couple of quick searches and found it. And then was just like, I need you to pick this thing up. And he brought it back. It's been just finding stuff like this. It's just all about constantly looking Craigslist, talking to private collectors.
Right, networking. And
yeah, that's...
Well, my friend Jay and I were talking about this. It's like the longer you do this, the games find you.
Absolutely.
You know?
We do. We get people...
Yeah.
Over the years, we've had people roll up. We have our sit-down Cinestar.
Yeah.
Somebody drove it out here and was like, "Do you want this?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah, well, yeah.
$300, take it. It's like, okay.
That's ridiculous.
It's people, when they sell games to us or donate games to us, they know that people are going to be enjoying them, and they just want to know that that's
it's
what
better
they're...
than being in someone's basement. Like, the world can play it.
For sure. It's like the collectors, I used to have heavy collecting issues myself.
Well, I do.
It's one of those that's to each their own. Like, nothing against collectors. Like, I know I've heard collectors, people that own other arcades, like, how do you have that out on the floor?
Right.
People are going to destroy it.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
like,
I've heard that too with our stuff.
but they've got to be out there. They got to be out there.
Well, they were made for this. They're commercial equipment, right?
Right.
So well, Doc, anything else we should see? I mean, have we seen it all?
That was pretty much a quick tour. I can't think of anything that we didn't stop.
Awesome.
But
So if people want to come here, you're on Ogden in Brookfield, Illinois. And you guys can just Google Galloping Ghosts and all that good stuff, right? And you're open. And by the way, we didn't talk about this. All the games are on free play, right?
yeah, it's $20 to get in, and then we're open every day until 2 a.m. We're open all holidays. We've never closed in the 7+ years that we've been open.
So every single day you're open.
Every single
And
day.
tell me about the no gum.
It's-
You guys are like
we're-
pretty serious about this.
Yeah, that's been kind of. We started with one of those, and it's kind of funny. We go around and look for them at Halloween time now.
But are you having a gum issue?
No,
No?
it's
just kind of a joke.
pretty much. It's been kind of this growing.
John was afraid he got rid of his gum.
Like I was chewing gum, and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh my god.
I was going to mention it, but then I was like, But
Were people sticking gum on the games?
no,
Oh.
that's been up there since the start of it.
Oh,
We were
okay.
like, it's we don't have many rules here.
Yeah.
But that's one. I don't ever have to replace the carpet in this place. 'Cause it's.
I see if there's gum in the carpeting. It's hard to get out.
We're gonna have to eventually change it one day, but I'd much rather that the money goes towards events and more games and more space and to keep growing everything rather than something stupid like carpet. So
Awesome. Well, Doc, thanks for having me, man. Thanks for showing me around.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. I'm hungry. Let's go. All right, so what do you think of that?
I loved it. I think Doc really knows his stuff.
Yeah, he totally does. And what's good about this video compared to the last one is that he was with us, right? I mean, because last time we were there, it was just Greg and I, and we didn't know what we were looking at.
Really? Yeah, you needed this. He's a great tour guide.
We needed Doc. So I was super impressed with that arcade, though, because every time we turned a corner, I'm like, what is this? I don't know what this is.
Yeah, like yet another thing. I mean, literally, there's not a 2-minute interval where you don't see something brand new.
And I can't think of any arcade I've been to where that's happened, where it's like they would have, like, some arcades would have like 1 or 2 games I never saw. It's like, this was like literally every 30 seconds. It's like, well, I don't know what that is.
I wonder if he spaces them out like that on purpose.
Right.
Freak them out every like 15 feet.
Right. But going through all those games and talking about all that stuff has made me very hungry.
Oh yeah, I'm hungry. I could eat something.
So I thought we'd go to G and Jude's. Now, the last time we did the Galloping Ghost video, we did go to G and Jude's after, and we're going to do that again. And really, you weren't there last time.
Oh, this is good.
I want you to experience this hot
All
dog.
right.
It's the best hot dog in the world, period.
I'll take your word for it.
No,
Let's go.
well, how about Rachel Ray's word?
Oh, yeah, Rachel Ray. She's good.
Well, she did like a bracket tournament, tasting hot dogs across the country, and this place won.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Oh man,
You trust her, right?
I do. I'm gonna have to bring one home to the wife or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, all right, let's keep driving. We're almost there. All right, so this is it, Gene and Jude's. I've been coming here like since I was an infant, all right? It is the best hot dog in the world, period. So if you guys are ever like at O'Hare, this is not that far from O'Hare. It's on Des Plaines River Road. I think it's River Grove. So there's no ketchup in this place, by the way, so don't ask for ketchup, Mark.
What's ketchup?
So we're gonna get the dogs with everything, which is mustard, relish, onion, and sport pepper. And it comes with fries. They're placed on top and it's all wrapped together and the grease permeates into the bun. It's pretty darn good. My parents asked me to bring them some back, so I'm gonna order 2 without relish, which is my mom and dad's request. I would not advise it though. All right, so the hot dog with fries is $2.93. It's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And they hand cut the fries. See the guy over there with the potato?
Everything on the fry, right?
Adam, do you need a box?
Have a day, sir. Sir, I'm sorry, you can't be filming.
Okay, we're good. All right, you ready? All right, so here it is. Now, I know we did this before, but I wanted to come back here because I have to. It's the best hot dog. Because last year we went to Super Dog, which is good, but not as good as this. All right, so Mark, look at this. All right, this is the magic here. Hand-cut fries on the bun, all wrapped together, right? And everything, again, is mustard, relish, onion, and pepper. And when I was a kid, I'd leave some of the fries in here. Just kind of leave a little. All right. So good. These are Vienna beef hot dogs. They get their own cut, their own weight, unique to this place. And the little sport pepper, it's like the right amount of heat. And even their fries. It's magic. You gotta try it.
Oh, I will.
Here, dig in. So good, guys. Cut. All right, Mark. So you finished yours, I finished mine. What do you think?
It was worth it, dude.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, I'm blown away, basically.
What I like about it too is that it's restrained, right?
Yeah, they don't put in.
They don't go nuts.
Right, there's certain things that they leave out, but it's.
Yes.
I still just.
Because if you go to some other quote-unquote famous Chicago hot dog places, they go nuts. It's like sauerkraut, tomatoes, pickles, celery, salt. It's like a salad on a bun.
Yeah, this is like manageable and not too crazy.
They made a conscious decision. These are the ingredients, no more, no less.
Right.
Mustard, relish, onion, sport pepper, the end. And you can't even get ketchup here if you wanted it.
Huh.
And I don't miss it even with the fries.
Yeah, I don't either.
So good.
Thanks, John.
All right, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. And by the way, thanks again to Doc. Totally cool guy. Great arcade. And guys, if you're ever here in the Chicago area, you have to go to Gene and Jude's. Best hot dog ever. All right, guys, later and bye.